Hello, my name is Jeff, and I am the cradle facilitator at Naval Submarine Base Kings Bay. Welcome to our discussion on forgiveness. If you're like me at some point in your life, you have been wronged by someone has betrayed you, or someone has disappointed you. They promised you that they would do something, but failed to follow through. It may have left you with an attitude of unforgiveness. Perhaps you become bitter. Maybe you're distraught. Maybe you have an attitude that says, I'm going to get them back. Revenge. Well, we may choose that path, but Xavier said, without forgiveness, our journey through life is at best miserable. So what are your thoughts on forgiveness? What comes to your mind when you think about forgiveness? What concerns come to your mind about forgiveness? During the colonial days, when someone paid a debt, the person who was paid would nail to the door of that person's home a receipt saying the debt has been forgiven. Forgiveness is forgoing the debt. We feel like we are owed something. We're owed an apology. Someone must say, I'm sorry. Someone must come to us and say, really, I didn't know what I was doing. Will you forgive me? I'm sorry. When we feel that way, that we owed something because we've been wrong, the problem is we may never get paid. People may never come back and say, I'm sorry. They may never come back and say, give us an apology of some sort. And if we think about it, if we focus on that, of having to feel like you owe me something, we become stuck. We're like in a rut. Those thoughts of forgiveness really shackle us and not allow us to be the people that we really should be. As you see those definitions about forgiveness, let's clear up some things. Have you heard, forgiveness only counts if I do it and I'm done with it? Well, bitterness has resurfaced and forgiveness has failed. To say I forgive only begins the journey. There's no such thing as forgiving and forgetting. So we have to put to rest that thought. It only counts if I forgive and I forget. No one has amnesia. We're going to remember that incident or what happened for years to come. What we're working through in forgiveness is coming to a point where we do not feel the pain anymore. That brings me to another point. It only counts if I don't hurt anymore. Some people believe that the moment when forgiveness is spoken, it should lead directly to the end of the hurt and the pain. I really wish it worked that way, but it doesn't. When we forgive others, the hurt and the pain, more than often than not, is still there. It's something that we must work through. Remind ourselves that forgiving does not mean that the person committing an offense is not responsible for their behavior. They should be held accountable. Forgiveness is a choice. Forgiveness is not amnesia, but is graciously choosing not to bring up the offense again because of a greater vision. Immediate restoration of full trust, but relies on faith that trust will eventually be restored. So, forgiveness is a choice. And although we've not been able to really fully forgive at some point of a fresh hurt or pain, if we want to be the best people we can be, we have to choose to open the door to forgiveness. Someone said unforgiveness It's like eating rat poison and expecting the other person to die. It just doesn't work that way. We are going to remember, but we must choose to forgive. There'll be no immediate restoration, but we must choose to forgive. We wish life was like a 30-minute TV show where it all comes to an end and everybody's happy. It just doesn't work that quickly in life. It may take months. It may take even years for you to work through a pain in your life because of what someone has done. Now we come to what forgiveness really is. Forgiveness is a 4-letter word, love. Forgiveness is love acted out. And this love is patient and is kind. It's not envious or arrogant or rude or demand its own way. Perhaps you've heard that from an ancient text. That's what really forgiveness is all about. It's choosing to act and say, this is what I'm going to do. I'm not going to demand my own way. I'm not going to be arrogant or bitter. I'm not going to try to make the person pay for their wrong. I'm not going to try to get revenge. Brother, I'm going to believe in the hope of forgiveness and trust if I choose to forgive, the best surely will come my way. Some of us choose to forgive and say we forgive, but we really don't forgive. We put it away in our file cabinet and we gunny sack it and we put it away only to bring it up another day, maybe a month later or a year later, and confront the person with, well, will you remember what you did to me last year? Yeah. If we choose to forgive, then we can't put it in the file cabinet and use it as a tool to hurt someone later on or confront them with what they really did to me. That is not the path of true forgiveness. If we're going to file anything away, let's not file away how we were hurt. Let's not file away the pain. Let's not file away in our memory how it was done. Rather, let's place and choose to place in our file, in our memory, rather to look to a hope and to visualize the change that you want to happen. Visualize and focus on what would you rather the relationship to be, or what would you rather the circumstance to be. Focus on what you would like to see happen rather than file your grievances away only to bring them out at some time to strike back at someone else. If you're like me, you discovered in life that way really doesn't work. So how do we move from this place of hurt and pain? How do we move from this place of bitterness to a brighter day ahead? Well, there's only one way to do that. You've got to work at it. Set an agenda to work on the issues in question. Fully explore the pain and concerns related to this issue. Be honest with yourself. Lay it all out on the table. Turn up every card. Don't hide anything. Be true to yourself. Be real to yourself. Only when you're true to yourself and when you're real to yourself can you begin the healing process. In forgiveness, the offender should ask for forgiveness, and the offended agrees to forgive. We hope that would be the way it works. But too often, the offender never asks for forgiveness. What do you do when that person never asks for forgiveness and they go on with their lives as though nothing really happened? Well, you have to take action and forgive. Forgive them for not asking for forgiveness. And take the attitude, if they did ask for forgiveness, that you would agree to forgive. Because that places us on a path of hope, restoration, and healing. So it's a commitment, a positive commitment for change. It also says that if you're a person who has wronged someone, if you have offended someone, then you should commit to not to do these things again. To be sorry, to apologize, but commit to say, hey, it stops right here. I'm responsible. I'm not going to do that anymore. And then move forward. Finally, let me encourage you again to choose forgiveness. And you see why we should do that right on your screen. Forgiveness can halt the cycle of blame, shame, and pain. Forgiveness grants freedom from a debt. Forgiveness transforms our relations. Forgiveness is a choice. Forgiveness is for the offended person. Forgiveness is very, very powerful. It can release us from our pain. It can release us from the shame. We feel free. We can feel open. We have a positive attitude, and we have hope for tomorrow when we forgive today. Thank you for joining us.